Hey guys. Okay, so this is just like a little test, or it's a terrible launch. The launches, this is it's quite difficult for me to try and memorize the best hand positions on launch. I need to pay more, have more concentration, pay more attention to how I'm doing my launches to try and get the muscle memory thing going on, because mine seems to be okay sometimes and a bit random, basically. And I do crash. I've crashed. I don't know, 6 or 7 times on launches, more maybe. But anyway, so yeah, so this is a bit of an experiment. I've got my VTX set to 200 milliwatts, which is what I've been just making the videos with the BIXLER with, because I've only been flying pretty close to me, within sort of like a kilometre. But I have been flying underneath the height restriction. Okay, I want to make that quite clear. Even though I'm doing this BVLOS, this beyond visual line of sight flight, I'm keeping it below the upper limit. So there's absolutely no way I can be an endangerment to manned aircraft. If anything, them being above me and there's something goes wrong, they might come and crash into me, which, can we ban all them from being around me? Oh, I don't think so. But look, I'm not going to get into the anything to do with that, because I think half it's a whole load of cockadoodle whatever. But I'm going to stay below the 400 feet, which is 122 metres. I've already set it to altitude hold, around about 115, 116 metres, so it's going to stick in and around there, give or take a foot or a metre or two. And I'm just going to keep trying to push forward. But I tend to I veer off to the left, lose my orientation a bit, and so I don't even know if that's why I lose the VTX signal. But we're good up to just a couple of few metres under 4 kilometres. And I think that's pretty good for 200 milliwatts, staying under the height restriction. I mean, I've still got a few metres I could go up if I wanted to, but I've got a funny feeling that the way my antenna's pointed is I'll probably be better if I was just slightly lower. But this is something I'm taking note of. This is what I like about watching the videos back, when you've got your on-screen display information. Like there, look, we're going past that place, and that was flashing away on the RSSI. And it will warn me when we get to 45 RSSI. But as you can see now, look, we're getting away from that certain little area, and the RSSI has gone back up to around about 50, dropping down again there. And I'd have got an alert there as well, when it just went to 43. And that's at 2.1 kilometres out, which is crazy because it's still about the same sort of RSSI at 4 kilometres out. But again, like I said, that's what makes watching these back quite interesting. Now there, a lot of the time, if I got to an image like that, I'd turn back. But here, I'm not. I'm just continuing to go through it. I've never done that before, really. I think it's because I just know I've got the safeguards. I know that the failsafe works if I lose signal from the transmitter, because I've tested that. And I also know return to home works. And I also know that I get not only, if I lose all the information on the screen for VTX, that means I don't get to see my RSSI. But on my Tyrannus, there's alarms set for my RSSI. So I'll get audio alarms letting me know the status of that. So I don't need to see what's on the screen. It's nice to have that there, because it gives you plenty of pre-warning. You get to have a little look. But you also get to see when you go past certain areas, your RSSI will drop. And I'm not sure whether that drops because of the link quality that you have over those areas, where the noise floor, let's say, if down below there's, in the close vicinity, there's a farm or whatever it is down there, and they've got Wi-Fi 2.4 gigs, because that's what I'm controlling with at the moment. I say it's just using the FRSKY X8R. So yeah, that will put the noise floor up, so there'll be plenty of noise from their signals being thrown around down there. But it is interesting. This is I love watching these sort of videos. I like watching other people's videos like this as well, just because I want to be able to see the type of things that happen while you're flying, because I'm taking note or trying to take note of pretty much everything that's going um, on my on-screen display. Obviously, I'm not taking too much notice of my direction, which I could probably really do with, but I think I'm probably looking more at the top right, clocking it for when it gets to about 4 kilometers, because I just wanted to see if I could, pretty much go that far. But if you look now, look, 196 degrees there, 199, so let's say 200. So we've moved out sort of 40 degrees. Now, if I've got the best um, band, the best beam width around about 60 degrees, so from my pointing of my antenna, I've got 30 degrees each way. I'm out of that now. I'm not in that anymore. I am now in the omnidirectional sort of field of gain that I'm going to get. And 4 kilometers at 200 milliwatts, two omnidirectional antennas together, it's sort of suggesting it's not particularly happy with that. I don't know if you can notice, but sort of mid-screen, just below the horizon, slightly to the left, you see a white, on the HD of course, on video, you get to see a white blip. That's where we're going back to. But now we're very much to one side of that, rather than pretty much in front of it, which is where we want to be, where my antenna is pointing. So if you look directly to the left of the actual main video, halfway up the screen, that's where my antenna is pointing down towards. So I'm quite a bit out of where I'm supposed to be there. So I suppose if anything I get to learn from here, how far is it I actually get some sort of omnidirectional, and there we go, that sort of answers the question. If I get to see sort of distance out there, 3.1 kilometers. Okay, I mean I might just be touching in on the edge of the beam width, but I don't think so. That could be also me trying to just move the antenna, move the controller in my hands a little bit, just sweeping side to side to see if I can pick up a signal again. And I obviously can in places, but still, it's all a good learning curve. Well, I think we get to see the RSSI drop down quite a bit going past this place. I just saw it go to 41, and look, you see 39. So there must be some Wi-Fi activity here. But that's a good thing to take note of, because then when you're going past it and you see it drop down, you don't need to worry and think, oh, I've got to do a return to home or something. And it's nice to see as well that even though we've run out of VTX signal, when I was doing the turn, we didn't fail safe, because if we did, it would have said FS up there. It would have said FS up there, and I think then I can't remember what I have to do to get out of that, move the sticks. Or maybe it would have gone into return to home automatically after that, because I'd have already flicked the switch. But I need to do those sort of tests as well to see what happens when things like that happen. Like for instance, if you go into failsafe mode, but you don't realise it because you can't see your on-screen display and you've flicked the return to home, is that okay? When the signal is picked up again by the receiver and it wants to switch out of failsafe mode, is it okay for it to switch straight into return to home, or do you have to flick the switch back again? Is there going to be an issue with that? I don't know what happens there. These are the sort of things I'm going to need to test, just to see for my own, for my own peace of mind, so I know what goes on. Yeah. So we're stuck underneath the upper height limit. I don't know how accurate that is going to be. I can't measure independently the height that I'm at now and the actual real height. Against the height there by the altitude. But I suppose what I can say is that the barometer inside on my flight controller is going to be a lot less affected by airflow than it would be on a multi-rotor, just because it's inside a fuselage and that's pretty much sealed up. The little gap in the front, because my ESC runs on the outside, I don't know, because they reckon it's a 30 ampere ESC, but by God it would get hot. So I run it on the outside now and it just stays pretty much cold, which is a better thing all round really. Well, at least within a very short period of time of it being on the deck. By the time I get to it and put my hand on the ESC, it's cold enough. I get to see as well how much current I use, which is quite nice. And for that trip there, we've gone 15.9 volts, look, and it was powered pretty much all the way. We did 8.5 kilometers. That's not bad. I need to move my VTX onto the wing. It's sat directly, well, pretty much directly in front of the receiver. Now that chap there comes and talks to me afterwards. He said he watched as the airplane went out and wondered where it was. He thought it was I was flying it in the field. And then when I told him how far I'd gone, he couldn't believe it. And then he told me all about his missus, about how she don't like going on aeroplanes, and so he took her. There's somewhere you can go in the UK that you can actually fly a simulator, and he took her to Tokyo on a simulator, and now she goes on airplanes and she wants to be looking out the windows and taking photos and all sorts. So this little bit just coming up now is just to show you, that it's I'm using a little Luminaire Axi stubby 5.8 antenna, and also using this FTX, no, FT48X, I think it's something like that, antenna. So the little red LED means 200 milliwatts. If blue and red are on, it's 600. If it's just blue, it's 25 milliwatts, and if it's none of them, it's 0.25 milliwatts. And there's a little antenna. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. The sunlight, I can't see anything on my screen, but there's a little antenna, guys. Thanks for watching.